There's only one way in. Enter through that door, or one step to the right, and you're falling hundreds of feet to your death. Hidden on the very edge of a vertical cliff in the Four Corners region of North America is an ancient village that defies all simple explanation. This village stretches nearly a quarter mile and hangs hundreds of feet in the air. So hidden, it wasn't even rediscovered until the mid-1900s. The sheer location defies logic. How could anyone have lived and thrived here? From secret access to seemingly impossible walking routes, this place stands out as one of the most unfathomable places to live in America. On this episode of Outer Range, we go right to the edge of the unknown to try and recover the how and the why this cliffside village came to be. This has been described by Andrew Cross, the desert drifter, as the most extreme ancient village in the United States. And I am in a place that, well, you'll probably hear it in my voice really quick, that I'm a little bit nervous about. I'm looking across the canyon and I got butterflies in my stomach because it looks extreme. Now, why am I doing this? I don't feel like I would have ever known about this place if Andrew hadn't shared it on his channel. But on his channel, he said it was a transformative experience to come to a place like this. So I'm relatively new in my outdoor exploration on the YouTube channel. And I just thought, why wait till I'm way later in my career versus a transformation about how these people lived in a deeper understanding of why they did what they did. We're also fascinated with cliff dwellings, but the story behind it and why these people lived every day in danger. Now, not all of them, but these in particular, I would wager that's the case. So there's only one way to get there. And it's kind of a hidden trail that cuts through down to the point of a canyon. You can't even see it coming in. You kind of have to know what you're doing here. But I stayed the night here and to get a feel for the place, got up, I've stretched to try to feel good, make sure my cognitive is on point, make sure my flexibility and just, that the A game's on, because you're looking at 300 to 400 feet down over there. And I mean, it's just straight down. So anyways, come with me. Let's go immerse ourselves into this experience and see what we come out of it with. There's no direct path to this village. To reach it, you have to drop down onto a narrow, invisible shelf and follow a hidden route that winds along the far side of the canyon. Tucked beneath a massive overhang, the ancient structures reveal themselves only once you're under the cliff. Completely concealed from every other angle, it's a secret world, invisible to anyone who doesn't know exactly where to look. This part here on the left that's tucked deeper under is very well protected. The other out here in the front's had a little erosion over the years. You feel so safe right here, not realizing that 10 feet to the right is a long ways. As we approach the narrow wedge of the canyon, a hidden spring reveals itself, its water slowly leaching from the rock above into a natural stone catch basin. This unlikely oasis is the reason this village could exist at all. With a steady source of water year-round, survival on this remote cliff ledge became possible. I mean, they would have been coming here daily for sure, right? Filling up their vessels with water. Now this is the first structure on this side past the spring. It's pretty well worn for sure. Now we're kind of working the edge here. Evidence of another worn out structure. Now, Andrew described this as a village of people living here because I believe this stretches for nearly a quarter of a mile. You don't want to get jelly legs up here. Just kind of not look over there. So my first thoughts being over here, not knowing how I'd feel being on this ledge where these people lived and was carving out a living here, survival, is I feel like a guest. This isn't my place. This belonged to them. They built here. They lived here. They found a way to survive in evidently an extremely harsh environment. And, you know, the wildest thing is they raised their families here. I mean, I don't know if they were here for 30 years, 50 years, 100 years on this ledge, but undoubtedly children were born here. And this is, this is where they would have raised their children. Can you imagine the stress level as a human? We've kind of come to a blockade on the ledge. I could go there, but I think I'm going to elect to try to go over, work my way through. You know, no one says, you never hear this mentioned, but when you are filming a place like this versus just simply exploring it, you have your backpack, you have your camera gear, you have your drones, you have all these things hanging off of you, catching on all the brush you go through, and it can be traumatic in and of itself, just trying to keep your balance and not let your gear throw you off. Okay, we're walking up on this first area, and besides the general location, which will be described in the video of how remote and extreme and incomprehensible this is to live here, this pile of boulders, just to reiterate what Andrew said, I'm not trying to recreate his video, but here we are. And so this stack of boulders here, along with this natural boulder that has fallen over time, has kind of created a defensible position if you were on the other side of this. So anyone coming along, let me just pan back around here, this very narrow path that we've taken to get to this point is now up against a defensible position that they cannot get past. So this is a little bit wider area here. So they've kind of created a choke point where you have to go this way. And beyond this, my understanding is where the majority of the village lies. And I'm excited to get back here and see this. Oh, how beautiful. This wide bench right here is kind of takes a lot of the anxiety away. It gives you room to breathe right here without worrying about the edge. And then right here to the left is another small wall. What would have been held in here, I have no idea, but it's basically the first structure wall of any type since coming back through that defensible position. So we came in up here on top. We walked down this edge here, drop down to this lower shelf, which you cannot see from on top at all. And then from this lower shelf, we worked our way right around here to this point. The spring is back here, and then you come up the other side of the canyon. So here you're completely protected from above, I mean, it's 600 yards across this thing at this point, and further on up there. So you're just isolated here. There's totally protected. If you can have the wherewithal to live here, you're protected at this point. Cliff dwellings across the Southwest tell different stories. Some were chosen for comfort, natural shelter, beauty, a place to raise a family, but not this one. This place speaks of urgency, of danger. No one builds an entire village here unless survival demanded it. This wasn't a home by choice, it was a fortress of survival. And the deeper I went, the more extreme it became. There's only one way in. Enter through that door, or one step to the right, and you're falling hundreds of feet to your death. Stay over here to the left. A couple of structures here that has a lot of deterioration, and we have this wall, but there's so many crumbling rocks out here that I'm certain there would have been walls built during the time they were living here. We'll point something out here because this is exactly what you don't want to see. I was going to go around this way, which would be the obvious choice, right? This is where the kiva is up here in the front. But let me show you this. I don't even want to get close to this here. You see that? That's like a pocket where water is going down in behind this boulder, this part of the ledge, and I would say it won't be too long before this little section here breaks off this cliff. And yeah, almost like any of this right here, because it's dirt, it's almost like any of this could kind of be a false floor. You don't really, maybe don't really know what's under it. So I am not going that way. So I will go this way, and then this area here, all these blackened ceilings through here. So very much a livable area. Just getting the lay of the land. Here's the tiniest little piece of pottery. It's a reference to my finger. Little corrugated piece right here. This is the kiva that had access through the roof. When they were dwelling here, this is how you would have gotten into it. Due to the fragility of these structures, you can still see the juniper bark here up on the surface. This is the kiva structure there on top. And you can see the juniper bark that they're using, probably mixed in with the mud around the kiva. Okay, so here's the kiva, the top of the kiva, and the only way in is around the front. I know that from Andrew's video, so I'm looking at it closely, seeing if it makes any sense at all here. Yeah, not really. Not really. Took my backpack off and everything because I don't want anything hanging up, catching on anything as I come around this corner. This isn't your typical kiva. Most are what archaeologists refer to as small K kivas, 6-sided, about 10 feet across, and likely used as family living spaces. But this one is different. It's larger, nearly 15 feet in diameter. This was a gathering place, a space where the village came together to make decisions, maybe even to pray. It wasn't just a home, this was the heart of this community. Access into kivas was traditionally through the roof, not through the side, which is how I entered this one. The side I entered through lies right on the cliff's edge. It's likely that this was once the 6th wall, now missing, lost to erosion of course, having crumbled into this valley down below me. I couldn't verify the ventilation source in this kiva. Perhaps the small square hole in the back once served as a vent. In better preserved kivas found in surrounding states, the ventilation systems are clearly visible. Many of the large K kivas also featured a floor depression known as a floor vault. I wasn't able to determine if this one had it. If it remained, it would be buried, and I would have had to dig beneath the surface to find it. Archaeologists suggest that these vaults may have been used as foot drums. This would have been an animal hide stretched across the opening. Feet would have made a cadence during certain ceremonies. Another theory is that they were used to sprout beans early in the season. Sitting in this great kiva looking around, I couldn't help but wonder, what was discussed here? What decisions were made in this very room that shaped the future of this village? The ground I was sitting on, the space I was absorbing, was surely sacred to the people who once gathered here. All right, now we're going to peek back out here the way that I came in. If you're afraid of heights, don't come to this place. Then on past, we find a storage facility of sorts here. Possibly another one on up the way. I think this is one of the most fascinating, and I don't want to overlook it. This great overhang over top. The kiva is the most protected structure that I've come across so far. And then at the end of the kiva is this two-story. I don't know if it's a dwelling or not, but here we have this little opening, very protected back here in the back corner. And the mud, it's very unique. It still has all the mud work around the opening where it would have created a seal of some sort. Possibly access from the other side also, from inside. That's a dwelling behind the kiva over there. So we're coming along this right here to the right. You could possibly go down. I don't think that is where we want to go, but probably the way they went. And from here, you see dwelling, another dwelling. It just kind of keeps going. See a lot of juniper husk in there. Likely because it probably had a ceiling that was juniper at one time. And this just keeps on going. So get turned around here. Come in the brush. Here I am again contemplating on what life would have been like. You made sure you had your ceremonial kiva in place for the village. You had your storage. You had your protective living areas, and yet you were living here with multiple people, with children, trying to eke out a survival. And when you look at this here, I mean, how can you even imagine having children or anything, any kids, friends, elderly, living at a place like this? They were certainly different than us, but I stand on my belief that this was not simply a choice or preferred way of existence. We are here out of complete necessity. Comfortable here on the edge. I don't want to destroy something that's thousands of years old. If I don't feel comfortable, then guess what? I'll destroy it. Peeking out of the dirt here, let's get this. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. Got to find out what kind this is. It's got some markings on this side. I'm just going to rub that a little bit with my thumb just to see. Hold it up and see if that actually has color. No way am I walking past this. Has some red in it. How beautiful is that? Oh, where'd I guess? Right here, I think. I think it was actually this way. Right there. There's so many stories we could tell here. There's so many, like normal, I would film every cliff dwelling, every structure, every small detail. But here, it's really, that's not the story. Andrew was absolutely right. There's so many places that you can go to see an amazing cliff dwelling and preserved in Mesa Verde or different places like that. But to be here, it's not about the structure. It's about the way of life. It's about the family unit. It's about the why. And I'll try to describe it in the video as best as I can, but unless you walk the ridges and you're feeling it, and you're feeling the nerves as you're walking the edge of these, and the butterflies in your stomachs, the what ifs, it's very difficult to put on film, and let alone, I haven't even talked about the beauty setting here. It's just, my goodness, it's overwhelming. And it should be noted that there's little cross canyons and canyons and canyons and canyons and draws, and this place is enormous. There's a dwelling over here across from me, probably part of this same grouping. And no telling how many down here, but to find this, you literally have to be at that point right there. There's a 1/4 mile section here that if you're not at that, you'll never see this. And you talk about a needle in a haystack. This is, so give a shout out and say, I know he's not around anymore, but maybe here in spirit, but I'd say thank you to Andrew for sharing this and, letting me know about it so I could experience it, and let alone the many videos he's put out there for the world to see. But to be able to sit here and be, he sat here, he walked this edge, he came in exactly like I came in. There's no other way. And so he had the same feelings that this type of place generates. And, I'm very thankful that he did that. And I appreciate him a lot. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching another video today. Boy, am I glad to be in my studio and back off that ledge. When I watch it back, I get this little nervous sensation. But nonetheless, let's talk about the giveaway. We are on episode number 6. I want to say congratulations to you, Chuck, who won the print from episode number 5. Sure appreciate you. Thank you for following and commenting on the channel. So, a little bit of background. This is a print that I painted from my son and I's very first video that we put on YouTube. And so this is the cliff dwelling we went to. I wanted to memorialize it, so I decided to do a limited edition print, and I'm giving away 10. And so this episode is number 6. I'm giving away the 6th print, and then next video, so on and so forth. So how do you enter? You enter by commenting the word kiva on this video and also being subscribed to our channel. We will select a winner and pin the comment. That way you will know that you're the winner of this print on this video. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you liked the print. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.